Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today we have Ms. June Hamid, founder and admin of our Wins Group, and our Iron Lady, inspiring woman who has created a lot of entrepreneur and who has touched many lives. I am so proud to have you in our interview today, June. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
And of course, we have our Watts here, so we are going to rock the show. And what would you like to say something?
Yes, I mean, I'm more than happy to have June on board, interviewing her, getting wisdom words from her, and see how she has inspired and changed so many lives out there. I just want to learn as much as I can from her as well. Great. So, June, how are you today? How's MCO treating you and all that?
I'm good. I'm great. I think it's been actually busier as a result of lots of work and so on. But yeah, I think we're all coping. I think we're all doing well still. So that's a good thing.
Right. That's great. All right. So let's move on to our program for today. So June, I mean, we have known June being the admin of the page, the founder of the Win Group. But tell us a little bit more about yourself and why do you do what you do?
I'm really humbled this opportunity. I mean, I'm always like really happy that once I'd like to also thank it's done on Win. And I know I also like to thank the moderators. We have a fantastic group. I have basically Ruby, who was there from day one, Ruby Mustaqim. Then we have Kay Kamaljit Kaur, who is another moderator who's fantastic. Then we have Mary Lai, who's also come on board recently, and just just a pillar of wisdom also. And then we have Marsha Lim, who I think as the youngest gives us edge, new ideas, and is has contributed a lot to the team. So it's the group and the team that I have together with.
You need to like rewind 30 seconds.
Okay, so I'll make it short and sweet. I love the support I get from the moderator and Bazaar team. They know who they are. Fantastic. Okay, so
that's too short. Okay.
Okay. And just a word, I will lose the essence of it all. So yes, and the question that you were asking about earlier, the first question. Yeah. So who am I? Well, I basically have a corporate life. I'm a corporate educator full time, and I also run a consultancy along with that, and I'm also studying part time for my doctorate, and that is really stretching me. And then there's, of course, WIN, which is the community give back that started 2 years ago. So since then, it's really evolved in ways that I have not been able to foresee. And I think it's been fantastic, from 11 of my friends who I forced to join to the 29,000.
Inspired you to actually start this WIN community? What was your inspiration?
Well, basically, it's people like you. I mean, I have been going to bazaars, I think, for the past, ever since we started in Malaysia. 3+ years ago, I've been going and following, and I love the stories. I love the passion behind this artisan cottage industry. And it was just an idea of, 2 years ago, of getting it into a bit more of a a creative space. So there's a lot of Facebook groups, and I'm really happy with the development of more and more groups that are reaching out. And yourselves, you've created also the Homepreneur Network. Fantastic. I mean, as long as there are these communities, sets and subsets, we're all connected. So I found that Facebook was probably the richest platform in terms of pictures and ideas. So it was just it was an idea I thought about, I think, at 2 o'clock in the morning. My greatest ideas come as an epiphany of sorts in the middle of the night or more, and I decided that it was more of just having a very organic creative space. And wow, I mean, now 2 years on, it's surpassed even my expectations. But yes, you are all the inspiration.
It's
Thank
very,
you.
very
Thank
humble
you.
statement.
Yeah, very humble question answer. Thank you so much. And yes, I got this wonderful question that I need to ask you. I struggle at this all the time, many times. Every other day I go, I don't even know how do I manage it. How do you manage your time?
That's a very good question. Now, I think I work 16 hours in a day and I sleep only for 8 hours. Now, it helps that I probably have a bit of OCD and a perfection sort of standard, and I'm fairly hands-on. I mean, that's the main thing. However, I think, I've got these virtual baskets in my head where I segmentize based on timings and optimal spaces where I know I'm probably I'm able to produce the best work in a certain time frame. But I also know that because I'm very in tune with what I can and cannot do, I know that I've delivered my best work under crisis. Now, if you want to know the methods of my madness, it's actually something that works with each of us. We've got to define our own way forward, right? So I would say that it's and then at any one time I can only do three major projects. So I feel my corporate education, the DBA, and then also win is the max I can do. And if you ask me to do anything more beyond that, I just will fall to pieces.
Mm,
Right. That's great. That's great. I think
So okay, cool. Yes, next
nice.
question.
I like the virtual basket. I shall try that too. Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Right.
So now my next question to you will be, what does financial independence means to you?
Okay, it's very important. I think financial independence is something that one has to cultivate from early on, and even at a time of disruption and crisis now, we must have at least 6 months of savings and an idea of
Okay. I think she's
always
breaking.
living within your means. So personally, for me, my aspiration is to be debt free by next. Yes, can I go on?
Yes,
Yeah, you
Kim.
went missing and then you came back.
Okay. So personally, I think everyone should work towards being debt free and living within your means and having a budget every month. And also, really look into things like your EPF savings, which you must contribute, looking at anything that sets you up towards semi or full retirement in a certain time frame. So I think that's really important. I think savings is important and being very astute with your money. Now, I know I'm the ultimate buyer, but the thing is, I do have a budget, for how I spend on Win, and especially during the bazaars, I make it a point because I want to save on delivery. I get most of my things done there, and I buy in advance for 3 months. So I'm always looking at value for money and stretching my dollar. But I also feel that there's lots of value with, and I'm not just pitching this on because of Win, but I think because of
40 second for 40 second rewind and play.
okay, so quickly in terms of financial independence,
Yeah, I really feel someone is really sabotaging your
it's
line.
very
Like
Yeah,
literally.
I really think
important.
there is a
You need to have
small hantu inside the
savings.
inside.
You need to have at least 6 months with you working and
I'll be back again, June.
Yeah, so June said that she advises everyone to have minimum 6 months saving and will live within your means. So during this hard time, that will really help. So I think that's a very sound advice that she has given everybody. So I'm just waiting for her internet to get a bit stable before we actually get her speaking again.
can you okay? Can
Yes,
you hear me now?
yeah,
Am
I
I
can hear you
still
now.
yeah?
Yes, you are.
Audible
You are.
and vocal? Okay, great. Next question. Since yes,
Right. So with whatever that you're juggling, lives get sometimes unmanageable, and sometimes there is a drive that keeps you moving. And what keeps you going when things get tough in your life?
I would say first and foremost, now I seem to be having like rapid answers before I get broken up again. I would say it's my family. So I've got this small unit, which is my husband, my two girls, and then my mom and my sisters. And I would say that that's just like the crucial sort of soundboard that I have and support system. And I think as you get older, you've got your inner circles, you've got your outer circle of friends, and then you've got sort of resonating points with interesting different people. So I find having this kind of created support system is important for everyone. So that is how I cope with the tough situations, and also a very positive mindset. So as you know, I'm always sprouting positivity, abundance, and I'm just built this way. It's a genetic makeup of mine, and I know not everyone is built this way, but all I can say is, seek the light, go towards what's positive, because yeah, I mean, life is so short, and make the most of it as much as you can. Okay.
Right. Wonderful, wonderful insights there, definitely. Right, yeah, support system is the ultimate thing that everyone should have, because that keeps us in check, in balance, and to move forward. That's
Yeah.
amazing thing that you have shared there, Jane. Right. So the next question is that, with whatever that you're doing, what is the value that you're creating in the community?
Well, I think the value is self-created, and as you know, we have a member moderated. It's a free platform. As much as possible, I sort of hover, all of us, the moderators and us, we hover around like on these hoverboards. We want to look at decorum and kindness, and basically learning and supporting each other. But sometimes I think because of the MCO, there's this cabin fever syndrome that's happening, and we may be, highly responsive, and in terms of giving advice to each other, sometimes we veer towards, a slight sort of extreme or even unkindness. So I'm trying to sort of keep a balance of harmony and decorum. And so far, I think it's good because members temper each other. We're all supporting each other to learn, and I think even from the selling, I find that I prefer there's some sort of failure before there's success, because there's no instant formula for success. So I notice they try, they work out things with the buyers. I really want them to connect with each other and resolve conflict or issues, and then from there they learn, they develop. So that's the best way. It's sort of like through the school of life at Win.
Right,
Okay,
that's amazing.
Thank you, Jud. Thank you so much. And for everybody who's watching, thank you very much for watching. And we have June Hamid with us today. So any questions that you'd like to ask her, this is the time. Please post the questions at the comment area. We will read it out for you, and she will give us the wise answer. All right. So then your next question is, are there any measures taken to safeguard the sellers and the buyers in WIMS Group?
Well, so what we've done is we've looked at developing a sellers registry, and that's coming on shortly by this week. And I'm launching the Win Delivery Angels by today. And these are, two initiatives that we're looking at to looking at some sort of system of fulfillment from the buyer to the seller and vice versa and so on. And then we're looking at, this location links, buying by location links. I mean, we foresee the MCO is there, but, there will be measures even after that we have to look at to protect each other. So delivery and by a certain 10-kilometer radius is important. So I think we're going to look at those kind of continuation. But I'm always open to ideas. I find members are fantastic. They're always giving me ideas, thoughts, feedback, reaching out personally or on comments. And I like how that's organically. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Yes. Next question.
All
Okay.
right, cool.
So we would like to hear, okay, the audience would like to hear you talk about what is financial independence means to you again, because they did not be able to catch what you said just now.
Question was it to for me to answer?
Okay,
Financial.
what is financial independence mean to you? They
Okay,
want to
so
hear that answer again. Yeah.
okay, so financial independence is crucial for me, and I think for a lot of people. And my aim really is to be debt free and to use cash and to live within my means. And I hate credit cards, you know. So I think I've come full circle to know that money shouldn't control you, but you must be aware of where every dollar goes, and how you must also have some coming in and have savings of at least 6 months to weather any storm. And currently this disruption is a storm of sorts, so we've got to look at how we can keep those savings going. But I love how a lot of people have started to diversify, and they've looked at new ways to earn income from home diversifying to different sort of products and services. So I think one thing I love about disruption is it will stretch you. It will make you more durable and versatile and resilient for now and for the future. So that's my take on financial independence.
Thank you. Thank you, Jill. Thank you for that. Okay, our next question for you is what's your take on community over competition?
So this is a very interesting and good question. I believe I've always believed from the day we started that it's always about a plural or community benefit. And anything that we do, we weigh with how it should benefit every single person. And I look at a majority approach. And when it comes to even competition in the marketplace, that's a given. It's very healthy, and I never believe we have a red ocean on anything. There's a blue ocean of abundance. If you look at how you can unique selling propositions, about being someone things, and I always feel that everybody's it. And with that, you bring your brand. And that's how we're sort of maintaining that singular and community benefit of Win itself. So okay, so that's the answer on that.
All right, great. I think there's one question that we did not capture your input just now. Right, that is, what are the measures taken to safeguard the sellers and the buyers in the community? Of course, with a group happening, a lot of people can be joining it. Some of them could have a proper registered business entity. However, some chooses not to register their business. So how do you, as an admin, manage that?
So presently, as you know, we're about to launch the seller registry. We've got about 600 over registrants. It was fantastic. And what I've done is, I want to cater for those who are fledgling startups, and the thing is, with business, there's always this try before you embark on some big venture. And from someone before I even got to a success point, I think it's important that they do use the platform well. However, also work towards registering themselves for a company or an enterprise, because that will build some integrity and also professionalism into their business model. So we have a sort of a hybrid community at the moment, and I think that's fine. It's evolving. So the seller registry allows you to tick certain particulars, and if it's especially like KKM or something to do with food services and delivery, we've set an in progress, because we expect sellers to at least comply with the KKM and the typhoid shots within the next 6 months. And what's going to happen is buyers are going to refer to the seller registry, and if they find the person doesn't have this, they're not going to continue with the business. So you'll find that you may face a redundancy on this and many other platforms, because it's a government ruling. So we have to comply. And if there are sellers who don't, and if we find there's some unethical or and file the seller registry and block them.
Right, right, absolutely. That's great because it is by default that if you're doing business on Facebook, you have to have a registered business
Yes,
entity. It is a legal obligation anyway. So
yes,
I think with this, a lot of them, a lot of the members out there will take note of this and get themselves registered for their
yes,
own benefits. Definitely.
true. That is something. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you, June. Thank you so much for all the insights that you've been sharing with us, all the plans that you have, and the wise word that you've been sharing with all the ladies. And we have one question that's golden questions, which I would love to hear your put on this. What is that one advice you will give to other homepreneurs? Because we all are passionate about homepreneurs start a business. So now I want to hear from you. What is that one advice?
So, I must say that as the ultimate buyer who's always attracted to the stories and the ideas in there, I really
Ah.
your expectations. Have you heard that, or do I need to go
No,
again?
yeah, go again, please. Thank you.
Okay. So I always believe in self management first. Okay. And part of self management is to find your unique proposition and really your integrity, your honesty, and really focus on what is your gift or what is your objective in the product and services that you're delivering. So you must be unified on that and be stable in terms of your mental well-being. You when you put yourself out there, you've got to be strong about what position are you taking to provide continued services, for example. So managing self is very important. And I would say before you can manage others and also managing your business. And managing others would be your family, balancing your responsibilities, your family, your friends. You've got to see how do you balance that before you can even embark on the business component. So I've always looked at these three and decide how are you going to have an equal focus to be valuable for yourself and others in that sense. So I hope that answers that question.
Yes,
Definitely,
thank you, Jane.
definitely.
Definitely.
Right, so we have a comment here from Julie Lee. She said a little bit about financial freedom. We should have savings to retire, spend accordingly to our means. She did talk about save into EPF or diversify into other financial plans. So I think she recapped again that whatever that you have mentioned just now. Great,
Correct.
great sharing, June. I think you are the ultimate buyer, and you have recap it all into a small package in this 30 minutes for all of us to hear, for the members of me as well as member of HEN, um, as well as the public. Right. So Rose, are we going in with the rapid fire questions?
Yes, yes.
Right. So, yeah, I'll let Rose to lead on that then.
Okay. So because okay, we're going to start. Okay, June. This rapid fire question is actually inspiration of Coffee with Karan show, where
Okay.
I love the way he asks questions and the way the people answer. So I wanted to include that into my chit chat with Rose segments. So this is going to be questions that we're going to ask and you're going to respond to us. I won't be able to send you a hamper, but again, we shall go for a coffee after the MCO over. Okay?
And no problem.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
Or maybe when I have vodka with what, so sometime later on.
No
okay.
problem.
So now, my first rapid fire question is what makes you smile?
um Too many things makes me smile, but I would say my love for my husband and my children and lots of good food on Win.
Okay. And last time you laughed out really hard. When was it?
I would say I laugh all the time. I think, yeah, conversation with my husband on some
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Conversation with your husband the day that you laughed out a lot. That's what we heard. We didn't hear the details.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, so moving on. What is the two thing you would like to change about yourself, if there is any?
Well, I love myself to, the extreme. So I would never change myself or anything that I've done for anyone. So, yeah, I basically think we are the best version of ourselves now and also for the future.
That's
Great.
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 That's
That's
great.
great.
Right. So this one I will let Rosalind to ask because I think no one else deserves to ask this question. Please go on, Rose.
So, June, is it Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Yay! High five, June.
Okay. So, yeah. What? You want to do the next?
All right, sure. Yeah, bedtime or me time?
Bedtime or
Oh,
Me
me
time.
time.
me time?
Mhm.
Yeah, me time. Sorry.
Okay.
Can't hear. Didn't hear that part. So definitely me time is very
All right.
important.
Why is me time important to you? Why do you think me time is important to you or anyone else?
Well, as an alpha who really loves herself, I think we've got to do that. We've got to put ourselves first, and I always believe in the analogy that, you give oxygen to yourself before you can help others. And so oxygen comes in many forms, whether it is a coffee or whether it is a massage. You've got to put yourself first because you can only be that best version if you really take time to complete some of the things that make you important and successful. So yeah, me time,
Yes,
very important.
absolutely. So you cannot pour from an empty cup, and that truly resonates with me as well. Right, this is my favorite question. So tell me that one thing that makes you feel sexy.
The one thing that makes me feel sexy,
Yeah. Oh no, not this time.
No, we will get her to repeat that.
lipstick, crystals, and perfume.
Lipstick, crystals, and perfume?
Red lipstick, red lipstick.
Red
Red
lipstick. Okay, red. Red
Right.
lipstick, crystals, and perfume.
But
Wow, that's
can
a
I do
nice
a small pitch?
combination.
Can I do a small pitch for Shanna,
Sure,
who I
sure.
bought this, red lipstick from Mary Kay? She wanted me to talk about it.
Yes,
Very
please.
nice
Definitely.
red lipstick that I'm wearing now from Shanna, Mary Kay. Just wanted to tell her that
Right,
yeah.
right. And what color is that you're wearing? What is the
Good
color?
question. Uh, got it from the last bazaar. I think it's like a maroonish red. Yeah, if you can see it here. So yeah, so this
So,
okay.
so her take on
Yeah.
this sexy is the red lipstick. So every
Yeah.
time June wears that, she's gonna be killing it. Right? Great.
I feel sexy with red lipstick. Yes.
Right.
Nice. Okay, this is my favorite question, and I would love this from you, being an alpha personality. The one thing about women that man needs to know, June.
The one thing about women that a man needs to know, I think now I've always treated men as equals, and I think that is something that as much as you define your self-worth and they see it, that's the power that's going to make for an equal relationship. So that has to come first, and he will respect you and you will respect yourself once you have that understanding that you are a very powerful person. You have to tap into that a lot.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. So you set the benchmark on how you deserve to be treated, and everything else
of
falls
course, and
along the
how
way.
others have to be treated like queens, you know
Yeah.
and hence my mug. Yes, Queen June.
Wow.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. Cool. Good. Right. I mean, you have been saying a lot of things. I would like to know who is that one person that inspires you the most?
Mm, Okay, it's interesting. I would say for now, in terms of every woman and I think every man has to look at the idea of legacy. So legacy is about what you leave behind, right? So for me, my inspiration of a legacy would be my two girls. They are my greatest creation, and at 19 and 21 respectively, the legacy I leave for them in terms of being a serving leader and putting others first and taking care of others and seeing how you can be of service. I think that is the legacy I want to leave behind with them, so that they can continue the good work of whatever that we create during our time here. So that's important.
Nice, nice, very nice.
That was
And
beautiful.
yeah, so June, this is interesting. You can give me a title of a movie that's already there or something new. If your entire life was a movie, what title would best fit?
The movie would be Winning with Win.
Wow, yay!
So that's going to be the new movie of June coming soon in the theaters really
Maybe,
soon.
I mean, my PhD of sorts is going to be that. But I thought, if one of the things we do as a community and to is look at a book which will really capture the stories of all the people, all the community work, and the people in the community. So I don't think there's my story. There's actually our story. So all of us have stories, and that would be one of the things that is the core part of whether it's a movie or a book. It's got to capture what we've all done and are doing and plan to do for the future.
Yeah, beautiful, nice. I like the answer.
Right,
Okay.
great. So the last question is, what is the one thing that the craziest thing that you have done?
The craziest thing I've done is when you everything I do. Okay, I wouldn't say everything I do is crazy, but to do first and think later. And but I think there's a lot to be said that it has either been a success point or a learning point. So I would say yeah, the spontaneous holidays I go for, or that one I would never discount. It's I would do that more than buying an expensive handbag and all that. So holidays or taking those flights spontaneously has been a really good thing for us so far. But yes, I do miss that. That's one of the things I'm really missing at this point, and I'm sure all of us are, because we just can't seem to. We won't be able to go on holiday just yet, but soon, soon, definitely.
Hopefully it's soon. I don't see. Yeah, that reminds me of how we are stuck in the four wall and all the vacation we can have is our bedrooms and kitchens and the porch and the hall and the dining.
Yes,
Exactly.
and I recall a post by June. So when was your last trip? So my last trip was probably to the porch or to the small jacuzzi I have. I mean, that's how my life is going on right now.
Thank
Yes, I
you.
truly miss human interaction. Positive, constructive. Having conversation, real conversation. Instead of just saying no, come here, go there, don't do this, don't do that. It's been
Yeah,
crazy here. We're
yeah.
surviving,
Tell me about it.
definitely.
At end
Conversation.
of the day, every night I feel like, oh my God, all I did was just screaming and screaming and screaming at my son. Like I got to change myself, and then that next day all over it starts again. Yeah, I need
Right.
a break from that.
Right, amazing insights, June.
Yeah. Can I say something about how I really admire, all the work you're doing. Everyone on Win is fantastic and rallying and supporting each other. And I see that, when there's, we're not a charity. We don't want to encourage charity because it's like if you give a person fish, they will never learn. But if you teach them to fish, they will learn something for life. So I really believe in
Definitely.
that. I believe there are an abundance of opportunities on Win, and I'm so happy to see that everyone is doing as much to better themselves and help each other. So when there's a few, or actually a few members who reach out to me and say thank you, and I'm like, so everyone has potential, everyone has gifts, and
Rewind. 30 seconds, please, June.
They're discovering their gifts and they're sharing them with us. Yes.
All right. I think the line is bad again.
Yeah. Anyway, you have videotaped this, right? Together with
Yeah,
so if anyone wants to catch, the snippets or the gold nuggets of what we've been saying, they can just listen to it again. Yeah,
yeah.
I do.
Definitely, definitely. A lot of takeaways, a lot of takeaways, definitely.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. I'm very honored and I'm humbled. I mean, when people ask me questions, I like to put Win in the spotlight as opposed to myself. But hence today the makeup and so on. I thought, okay, let's look no a bit better than the usual drudgery of not doing anything. So I do miss that. The making up and the perfume. I really miss perfume. Okay, putting on perfume. So that's all my bottles are staring at me. But I think we need normalcy. We need to aspire to get back to what's normal, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I have sincere hopes we are going to get back to normal definitely soon.
Definitely, definitely. The
Definitely.
new norm is going to be a new norm by itself. All right,
Yeah.
let's look forward to it, and we will make changes and innovate whatever that we are doing. Thank you so much for being with us today, sharing lots of wisdom words, golden nuggets, and I must say it's been our greatest pleasure to have you in our just a small show that we just Rosalind chit chat with Rosalind. It's the greatest pleasure to have you
Thank
here.
you. Thank you once again, and I apologize for this patchy network. I have no control over it, being in this housing area, but yet I hope the essence of what was said has been captured. Thank you very much, and I'm
Yeah.
really grateful for the opportunity. So
Yes.
have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of the evening.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much, June. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for spending it with us. Thank you for all the wonderful work that you say and continue to do what you do the best. And thank you for touching many women's life there. And you have been
And
truly
vice versa,
an
you've touched my life
inspiring
too.
lady. And I'm so glad that you actually agreed to have this interview session with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
See you.
before we end, usually we will finish it with our mom's village
Mom's village
pose.
pose.
So it's like this. Can you do it for us?
One half.
Both hands.
All right, that's nice.
That's cute.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. See you again on our next
Bye.
show. Stay tuned and bye.
Okay. Take care. Thank you. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.